My name is Jeffrey Veach. In 2008, we lost our son, our 17-year-old son, to an accidental drug overdose. Turns out he snorted a small amount of heroin and died. The most awful thing that can happen to a family. It's a very, very unnatural thing to lose a child. To bury a child is the worst thing a parent can face. It's devastating because all parents have hopes and dreams that their children will grow up and do wonderful things and perhaps be better off than they have been. It's particularly worse, though, when you lose a child at age 17, and especially to an accidental drug overdose. Of course, when you lose someone, you have friends and family that are surrounding you. After a while, the family and the friends disappear, and you have to deal with the real issue. How are we going to go forward? That was a major problem for us. We decided that we would have to make some noise about it, not try to shy away from talking about the subject of drugs and what happened to our son Justin. We opened up as best we could. We took opportunities to be interviewed, to go in the papers, and we had a chance to be on television. I decided, and it took me a long time to do this, the hardest thing for me was to create a talk, and a well-planned talk that would aim to reach out to young people the same age as my son, to tell his story, and to make sure that they understood that they could do things to protect themselves, and even more important, to protect their friends. So our experience taught me a lesson, and a very important one. We all deal with tragedy in a different way, but I think the first thing one has to do when something happens to them that's serious is to accept the fact that it happened, and to not go through the process of what ifs. What if I had done this or that? How could I have avoided this? I think we have to start with acceptance of what happened and then see where that takes us, how we can do something in response. And I thought of some things that came about in my life that influenced me. One of them was a piece of scripture, actually. I was raised in Kentucky, central Kentucky. I went to college there. And I used to work Sundays at a radio station all day long. Of course, this is the Bible Belt. You don't play music, you listen to religious programs. And I thought of that one particular program and that piece of scripture, it's better to light one candle than to curse the darkness. And I used that in my talk to kids. Better to light one candle than to curse the darkness. You too can make a difference by honoring someone's legacy or whatever, by making a change to help other people, and in the process make things better for yourself. And I think the number one thing you can do with your child is think about the good things that they did, their contributions. Try to honor what they left, because we can't forget the fact that they were with us for all this time and all these wonderful memories. And it's too easy to get caught up in the grief and forget about all the good things. Well, I think that when something happens that you don't expect, you have to put this in perspective. And your reaction to what happens is very important. How you react, how you deal with it. If you're in a place where you are well-rounded, understand the world we live in, you can more or less see yourself in a better perspective and react to that action, whatever happened to you. And in the process of doing that, you can make the world a better place by taking a positive step. And my advice is to take this tragedy, turn it around some way, figure out a way to turn it around and do some good. The therapy is immense. You can do wonderful things, very powerful things. And in the same process, you're healing. Our son Justin, who we lost at age 17, had a dream because he was a very successful musician, and he wanted to record an album. And he had written and recorded actually 6 songs, but he had others in the planning. And he had a dream to do an album, and he even picked the name out. He was going to call it Permagrin, kind of a nice play on words. We had the opportunity to reach out to other artists to cover the songs that he had existed. And his goal actually became a reality. But we had to finish it for him.